And welcome to Good Morning Anambra. It's a Thursday episode here on ABS television. My name is Nonya Nwokoye and I hope you had a wonderful night rest. All right, join us as we begin the show with the press review. To have you, welcome to the press review Thursday episode. In the studio this morning, I have two gentlemen to joining us for the press review. Prince Tony Ezimo, good to have you in the studio.
Thank you. Good morning, Nigerians.
We also have Nonso Orakwe. Nonso, you're welcome to the studio. All right, we have a lot of papers on the press review this morning, Nigerian dailies, and of course stories making their headlines on ABS website. We'll begin with looking at stories making their headlines on ABS website. Anambra State Government awards small road projects. Anambra State Government to spend 7 to 8 billion naira on road construction in 2023. Anambra team wins Southeast Zonal Quiz competition. Mrs. Soludo inaugurates mammography center at General Hospital, Onitsha. Prince?
Well, let me talk about the roads because actually I am lucky to have my community to get one of the roads awarded. What we're actually waiting for. My community actually is Nimo. Nimo is an Njikoka local government area of Anambra State. So Soludo in the area of road, awarding roads because he promised that he is going to declare state of emergency on roads in Anambra State. So I think he has started that. Just that we are waiting for works to be mobilized, for the contractors to be mobilized so that they will commence immediately. For the one in my area, we are still really anticipating that he moves in to start the work, but he has actually flagged up the exercise. So we are waiting for the contractors to be mobilized to site. So Soludo on that area is, for now, is doing well, and we pray that Soludo will succeed, so that Anambra will be better.
Better. Nonso, I don't know, which one are you looking at?
No, I think we'll still look at the roads too.
Okay.
All you heard them markable for our dear governor to, flag off more routes to be constructed. And is a good one. And what I want to add there is there are some other roads that need quick intervention, especially in the city of Oka here. Roads like Ifite, okay, Ifite through Aroma. The Secretariat Road also needs an intervention. At least is a city road that whoever that comes in must cite it. Then the roads that leads to inside town, Zik Avenue, like Aroma, by the high tension roads and all of that also needs intervention. So through Zik Avenue, I think these ones should be fastidious, so that the city will look somehow good. I want to also applaud him for the ones already flagged off, like Unizik to Bono and all that. But these ones at the center should also be looked into. So, Mr. Governor, thank you very much, and keep doing us good.
All right, Daily Sun newspaper is the first paper for review this morning. Let's look at stories making the headlines on the Daily Sun. Redesigned Naira. 165 billion naira back in banks as Buhari unveils new notes. With a rather there cashless policy now fully enforced coming from the CBN. FG state local government areas share 736.782 billion naira in October. And 2023 presidency, why I prefer Obi to Tinubu, coming from Adebanjo, with a rider there, LP candidate in Oyo, says Nigeria needs him. And we saw articles soon made G5 governors, says Okowa, South governors reaffirm support. Enugu government flays attack on farmers in Ihamufo, calls for immediate deployment of more security personnel. British envoy decries electoral violence, says world watching Nigeria. Pantami secures 16.7 billion naira broadband access for 20 markets. APC chair expresses doubt on INEC's capacity to transmit election results electronically. Fuel scarcity, commuter has grown as fares hit roof in Lagos and Abuja. And UBTH to commence open heart surgery. That's from the chief medical director of the UBTH. Now, INEC raises fresh security alerts over 2023 polls to publish guidelines on campaign finances, expenses of parties and candidates. A lot of stories in front of the Daily Star, please.
So many of them. But let us talk about our financial policies before we go to the political abracadabra that is in the air. You know, yesterday, if you look at social media, you see a lot of about the new, especially the color, but people are really not looking at the main reason why the CBN has to come up with redesigning. Color does not really, that is not what makes a currency. If you look at dollar, you see that almost all the denominations are similarly the same. So color isn't the what makes a currency what it is or the value. The issue is that if you listen to CBN, you see that they said that 165 billion is back to the banks, meaning that wealthy Nigerians have hundreds of millions and billions stacked in their various homes, and so you can get some in the farms and the GP tanks and stuff like that. But as God may have it, because of this policy, and that is one of the main reasons why CBN has to come up with this policy, they needed to mop up cash back to the banks. And that is what they have succeeded in doing. And I want to tell you that now that many of them, because you know in this country, when you come up with a certain policy, people will stay at the fence to monitor whether it is implementable or not. Now they have seen that really new currency notes is already in circulation, because CBN governor said the circulation started yesterday. All right, so more millions within 2 weeks now will still find their way into the conventional banks. So we applaud CBN for coming up with this policy at this time. Mind you that this is a critical time in our national development, because we are facing the election. And you know, most times politicians mop up this cash. I mean, they stack this cash in their homes for vote buying and to truncate the election.
They'll still get the new ones.
Yeah, maybe if CBN will put the necessary measures. You see, to fix this country is not too difficult. What is needed is, do we have people who are really willing to do this? If they are willing, if the leaders are willing, both the federal government and the CBN, if they can synergize and they are willing to fix Nigeria, they will still do it. You see, the politician might find it difficult to get a lot of cash. He's talking about cashless policy. So why would somebody be withdrawing millions and billions of naira in cash? If you really want to fight corruption and electoral malpractices, you know, in terms of vote buying and monetizing our election, the CBN has a role to play. So I think...
Nonso?
Okay, in as much as we are the reason behind this new Naira notes are, genuinely, and it's going to improve our polity, especially when it comes to people who mop up money for one thing or the other. We also need Nigeria is international. We also need to have a kind of a well-designed Naira note that will represent us well. Okay.
So you don't like what you saw.
I'm telling you. In as much as we
somebody brought up this 20 naira that we used before the polymer one. I have one in my house. Somebody brought it up on the social media. I was like,
some people say it's bleached. They just went and bleached our
currency. The new naira with carotene white or whatever.
The idea generally of having this new naira notes is, is clear to people that study this country and know what is exactly happening. Economically, it's fine. But in as much as we are doing that, Nigeria deserves the best. That whenever you see our color, white and blue, anywhere you see this color, it's you know, okay? So we need something. I don't know. I know it should be very hard for this present government to effect that. But subsequently, any government that emerges from 2023 should also look at our currency and give us the best. By that time, insecurity, all the stuff must have been, wiped away, so that we enjoy the good Naira designs and all that.
Okay, let's move on to the New National Star. Let's see the New National Star newspaper now, and see stories making their headlines on that paper. New Naira notes fortified, make counterfeiting difficult. That's coming from our president, Muhammadu Buhari. Policy will address notes hoarding. A move not targeted at anybody, says Emefiele. Reps move to establish Almajiri Commission in the north. Senate investigates concession of 700 megawatt Zungeru power plant. APC lawmakers accuse South governors of diverting 950 billion naira oil money. 94-year-old Adebanjo campaigns for Obi in Ibadan, says presidency not about tribe. Buhari names Loretta Onochie new NDDC chairman. 2023 APC moves against BVAS IREV. Okay, and so.
Please, before we get to this National Star, there is also a trending news, and there's Sun. INEC raises fresh security alert over 2023 polls, and you see why we need to almost...
I think that's what is being repeated here in the New National Star. APC moves against RVA. I think that's exactly the same issue.
Let me merge them.
Okay.
See, if we can't stop talking about insecurity in this country, it has, we are at the top of it now. You watch out some of the political campaigns that have happened.
Is it the primaries?
No, campaigns.
Campaigns.
EDP has been attacked. I think APC also was attacked. It's only Labour, even Labour. All these big top political parties have been attacking one way or the other during their campaigns. And that is why we can't stop talking about insecurity. When I talk about, in fact, I am talking about it with passion, especially as it regards to this 2023 election. It's very appalling and it's heartbreaking that at this point, people are dying because they want to cast their votes. People are dying because they have interest to do one or two things. You can't go in the campaign and then, even yesterday, at Ibadan, somebody with dagger. I don't know if you have seen it. They caught somebody with dagger. What is he going to the campaign with dagger for? Are you a security agent with suits? The guy dressed
like a DSS officer.
Thank you very much.
You watched to where Obi
will pass. You see that kind of a thing. So when I'm talking about this, when this insecurity thing is in fact, this is going to mar the election if care is not taken. Yes, if care is not taken. And let me tell you, it's not all about the security agencies. It's not all about apportioning this duty to. Everybody has one or two things to do in this election. Just like what is happening in Enugu now. I think I read it here that what's it called? Is it herdsmen attacked the farmer? You okay?
They are running away from their community. They are running away from
so
their
do you see
community.
this kind of a thing? That is why everybody, in fact, everybody, religious leaders, everybody. Yesterday I was in Nnoko, Odema, Anambra, and I kept hammering on these things. When we just lose the interest of talking about security and acting, being so conscious about our security, the next thing you will see before election, you will see what we'll see before election will not be it won't be a good news. So what I'm saying in essence is this: we'll keep talking about this security. How do we engage people? How do individuals protect themselves? Because this is just the way we have to narrow it that way. Individuals should have a way to protect themselves. The community should. In fact, what happened in Enugu State? They said the ammunition they are carrying. The ammunition they are carrying was too sophisticated than the ones the AVGs were carrying. Okay? So I don't know how to, but I want to suggest that communities should beef up themselves. Individuals should be very security conscious. If you are driving, watch left and right fronts, back, everywhere. Be just security conscious, because what is going to befall Nigeria if our leaders could not be able to do anything. Let me tell you, if I make it taboo, somebody will be getting it up to, mar this election coming up 2023. Maybe they won't achieve anything. Because onye nje exam man ya kwadara kwado na agụrụ akwụkwọ onye anya fụ na ya ma nkwado na akwado ha kwado ọ chọba eso.
Okay, we can go on, but let's move on. I don't know, which other story are you looking at the new national?
Well, let me quickly add to this security. The governors should stop playing politics with the life of their citizens. Every governor, in principle, is the chief security officer of his state. You see, remember that during the time of Peter Obi in Anambra, we had a whole lot of security issues, but he sat up to the challenges. Even empowered community leaders, the PGs, the Igwes, to set up sophisticated vigilante services. That was the origin of vigilante in Anambra State. Let Bulubulu do the same thing in his state. Let all the governors do the same thing. Instead of wearing white and Ashebi up and down, going to G whatever and all kinds of campaigns and all that, leaving their people to their fate in terms of security. It is somebody that is alive that will actually cast his or her votes.
Okay. On the Punch newspaper, let's move on now. The next paper for review, the Punch newspaper. Let's see stories making the headlines there. Governors stop. Okay, Paris Club Fund. Governors stop deductions. Consultants head for French court. With riders there, governors will end up embarrassing Nigeria after overseas court ruling. Consultants talking. State won't allow illegal payments to consultants despite DMO promissory notes. NGF speaking. We also have other stories. The NNPC needs marketers as petrol scarcity bites harder. Obi's plane grounded. Campaign train seeks alternative arrangements. PDP differs as APC dismisses electronic result transmission. And new Naira, CBN, EFCC to track large withdrawals. Ekiti San says Speaker's impeachment coup d'etat. Police kill Oshun Prince. Hoodlums raise palace. Excess crude account declined by 89%. All right. Quickly, Prince.
Well, the Paris Club refund, sharing has always been the problem of our politicians. You see, most times when they fight, it's because of sharing formula, who gets what and stuff like that. And most times you see that it may not even be for the benefit of the poor masses, but the ruling class. This Paris Club reform started during the time of Obasanjo when Okoji-Iweala was the Minister of Finance. And we started having this goodwill of where we borrowed a lot of money from to forgive our debts and stuff like that. Now, the issue is that when it comes to Nigeria, what goes to the states? What do the states stand to get? And that is why sometimes I think the governors try to, the federal government will deduct one or two things from what's supposed to get to the state as whatever it is. And the governors are not comfortable with it. Of course, nobody will be anyway. And some of the consultants are heading to a French court. But the issue is, do they have adequate knowledge of what they're going for? Because you see, the writer there that say that governors will end up embarrassing Nigeria after the ruling of a French court. So we need to understand really what we are going for. Let us also understand the agreement between the government of Obasanjo and those French countries, especially France, before fighting for what you get and who gets what. That's my opinion. Yes, let them get proper information, because lack of information can really make somebody to go into serious embarrassing deal.
All right. Can we talk about Obi's plane being grounded and campaign train 6 alternative arrangements?
Well, I don't know what must have transpired. Why
the other place I read it to say federal government ground his plane or something like that.
There was this directive from aviation department that it should be investigated, that his plane should be investigated. These are politics. It's part of it.
It's okay. Maybe I may not have much to talk about that, but whatever it is, I think they should allow
level playing ground.
For all the contestants. All right.
So in the bias, no one on jibo can bastard.
Of course.
Okay. So I don't know what they want to do, but whatever, they should just allow level playing ground.
All right.
What I also want to PDP differs as APC dismisses electronic result transmission. You see what we are facing in this.
It's country. Still the same issue of INEC, crying out of insecurity. I think that's the same thing.
Did you see? So I think Nigerians should raise alarm on this. If it goes this way, we should not. In fact,
I think this story has started since Monday, okay, where the INEC their first cry was about hackers. Was about hackers. So a lot of things are still coming up, and I think more will still be unfolded.
Please let the hackers hack the results. Nigerians, to me, let the hackers hack the result. If APC is saying hackers should, they are afraid of the hackers, right? Let the hackers hack the result. The transmission, electronic transmission is good for Nigerians, and to the best of my knowledge, it's captured in the Electoral Act. So we should go by law and not what APC is tabling to us. So
yeah, exactly. You see, this, Soludo's election, you saw what happened there. If not for that technology, Soludo will not be anywhere around Agoka today.
I'm telling you.
They should stop deceiving us. We have experimented this is it not Osun State? Osun State. Even Ekiti. So what are they telling us? They should, even if they are saying that some people will be disenfranchised, let it be. Let us go by this. Let us test run it in Nigeria for today. The issue is that they have discovered that many young people are willing to vote their conscience.
All right, and they are looking for
ones that are ICT possible
compliant.
To distort it.
No,
okay.
It will not work.
They should not.
All right, quickly, let's move on to the Daily Independent newspaper now. Let's see stories on the Daily Independent. 2023 general election, APC makes case against Beavers. Okay, we've seen that story before now. PDP, APC, opposite sides of same coin, says Babachir Lawal endorses Obidate ticket with rider there. Urges Nigerians to vote them for equity, justice, and breath of fresh air. Okay, why I ordered redesigning of Naira notes, we've seen that before. Obi campaign office asked Buhari INEC to prevent pre-election rigging, warns against sabotaging PVC collection. We recovered $1 billion from corrupt Nigerians. That's coming from Malami. UK watching Nigeria closely over 2023 election. That's coming from UK High Commission. We also have vows to sanction, still on the rider from on the UK watching Nigeria closely, vows to sanction individuals who perpetrate violence during polls. Appeal court upholds nullification of Zamfara PDP Guba primary. All right.
I think it's good. This UK watching Nigeria closely over 2023 election. You know, I'm passionate to discuss things like this. They vow to, you know, to sanction people who perpetuate violence during the election. And that is why I came with my uniform, branded Mr. Vote Not Fight. And you went the way it went. So what I'm saying in essence is this is time to talk about it, because I know in one way or the other, these things must appear in one of the papers. It's the talk of the town. Talk that's the main. You can't talk about election now without talking about violence. In fact, as I'm talking to you, we have placed our men in all the local government in the southeast to, you know, monitor activities of politics in their local communities and give us reports so that we can form our data. So what I'm saying in essence is good. Let US also do the same thing. Let all the foreign countries where these our politicians run to whenever they messed up here should place sanction on all of them.
And UK is even threatening to, you know, ban visa, not to give visa to Atiku, Tinubu, and Obi.
It is key, so that if you mess up, all of us will be here. You are not running anywhere. We will die in this country.
Some of them
if you mess up, come and die with the people you are molesting.
You can withdraw. You can withdraw. Once, if you have a criminal issue, your visa can be withdrawn.
Okay.
So all those things, anything you do, you are not running away. You come and stay with the people you are molesting and all of that. So what I'm saying in essence is this: election is not war.
We all die here.
We all.
All right, please.
Yes. Let me talk about what Malami told Nigerians.
Okay.
We recovered $1 billion from corrupt politicians.
These guys...
Where is the money?
These guys within the corridors of power, particularly this current government, should stop playing with Nigerians. Who are these corrupt politicians? Where is the money? But even before we get to where is the money, who are these politicians? What punishment are they serving other than recovering the money from them? Okay, is it that somebody has stolen 100 naira? You now come to a round table with tea and coffee with sophisticated bread. Then you now said, okay, just give us 10% of what you have stolen. Go with the 80. Is that what they have done? Otherwise, they should tell us who are these politicians, in which court were they tried, where are they currently serving their jail term in Nigeria. If you are telling us you covered a whole $1 billion, US dollars, not 1 billion naira from corrupt politicians, and you are not telling Nigerians who are these politicians what is currently their punishment.
And how the recovery was
and how of course the money obviously belongs to us. It is the money they mop up in various GP tanks and foreign banks and stuff like that. But my concern is that what is their punishment, so that it will serve as deterrent to upcoming corrupt politicians. Let me tell you something. Do you know the danger that is facing this country? Those who are planning to steal are far more in number than those who are currently stealing. That is the danger. Now, those who are planning
because nothing is done to people.
Because nothing is done to. When you serve in government, you know, Peter B used to say that you get somebody who does not have a car. You elect him as a local government chairman. He buys 10 cars, build houses, then invite you for the housewarming. And then the bishop will pray, let where this money come from be multiplied 100 folds. When you should be calling police to arrest the person. So we need to see people punished for wrongdoing, so that some of us who are growing, the younger ones, will see that there is no gain in evil. But when you paint it, you know, you smoke screen it and stuff like that, and without any consequence, then it becomes a dangerous community.
The younger ones tell you they give you your own share and you keep quiet.
Exactly.
Okay, let's move on now. And I think it's high time Nigerians and authorities start doing what they ought to do to really make this nation great again. All right, it's press review and it's audience participatory. You can use the phone lines on your screen to call us and make your own opinion count on any issue of interest raised here. All right, moving ahead, This Day newspaper is next in our lineup. Let's see stories on This Day newspaper. Buhari excited by new banknote, says enhanced security features will make counterfeiting difficult. Objectives, Emefiele, EFCC, ICPC to monitor massive bank withdrawals, reveals 165 billion naira of old banknotes returned, insists anchor borrowers program not exposed to flood, warns against hoarding, arbitrage amid food shortage. INEC vows to end vote buying, violation of campaign finances. Okay. And we are solidly behind Atiku Okowa South governors declare. Now we also have the fintechs, bankers, policymakers gather as financial inclusion confab begins today. Prince?
Well, let me talk about the INEC vows to end vote buying, violation of campaign finances. Because this is one of our major outside security challenges. This is one of the major problems that is facing the elections in Nigeria. Vote buying, monetizing electoral process and all that. You see that there are a lot of competent people, very, very competent people, who will find it difficult to afford electoral process in Nigeria. And that is how they are edged out of the system. Now, if indeed Nigeria will find a way through INEC to reduce drastically monetary election in Nigeria, it will solve a lot of our problems. Now, let me tell you, from my experience in last Anambra State governorship election, you see that because of insecurity, politicians were unable to campaign. They were unable to share rice, Maggi, and all those rubbish they do prior to election day. So what they did was that they brought a whole lot of cash into the field on the day of election, and they were buying votes. And it was done, all parties did it, with no exception. All the political parties, they did it. At least in my own polling unit, I was there from morning till night. All the parties, they did vote buying. Somebody will pay, I think there was a particular party that paid 15,000 naira per vote in my area. Now you can imagine a woman who has 3 children who are crying of hunger, because one of the things these politicians do is to impoverish the people, then use money to buy them again. When you give the person money, he will like to maybe dance to your tune, because the person has to feed first. But if there's a way the electoral umpire can reduce or even scrape out the issue of vote buying, I think we'll begin to get it right.
Or even the citizens, because I think there was this woman in Anambra then that refused money. At least there was a person that did it. If others can take a cue,
it's possible
from what she did.
People can do that, but trust me, the level of hunger in the land is terrible. Is horrible. You check out in a week, you will see someone. People are feeling, if you wear good clothes, they don't know you don't have 1 naira in your pocket. They are feeling you are better than them. Therefore, they will come around you to ask you money. And when you don't give them, in fact, sometimes you have to even, because you are better off, you have to go and look for money to give.
Okay.
So that is the level we have seen ourselves. So I think that one will come and go, but it's a gradual process.
All right, let's run. The Daily Trust newspaper is next in our lineup. Let's see stories on the Daily Trust newspaper. 2023 budget. Finance Ministry on the stopover at 424 billion naira padding. With read there, lawmakers decry insertions. Ministry denies allegations. It's a ploy to divert taxpayers' funds. Rafsanjani, it's being investigated from Malami. EFCC, ICPC, others monitor campaign spending. INEC chair talking. Fuel scarcity spreads in Lagos as ex-depot price hits 205 naira. Ohanese, Northern Elders Forum, seek renegotiation of Nigeria's unity. We have Toji holds fives and for residents after 10.5 million naira protection levy. Ganduje flags of APC campaign in Kano assures of victory. Rep 6 agency for Almajiri out of school children. And as Buhari unveils a new naira note, 165 billion naira mopped up, we have read that the CBN decries bank's low response. All right. Vote not fight.
Election not be war about.
Yes.
There is something I missed out where they were talking about the incidents form will not be. There is a way. What was the last paper?
Okay, the last paper we looked at was This Day newspaper.
This Day.
Yeah.
Okay, This Day. Okay.
You're taking us back?
Yes. Sorry, I need to talk about it.
Okay.
You see, House. He said, insist no more use of incidents. Incident form.
Insist on beavers.
Yes, declare beavers irreversible. I think this is the language we need now. Okay, in every polling unit, anywhere you see incidents form, tear it. Yes, tear it. Because it's not taking laws. The law is against it.
Okay.
Electoral law is against it. No more incidents form.
That means you need to work more on people's...
we need to sensitize people to know their rights.
Okay.
So don't think of incidents form. The electronic device we know is beavers. Nothing more. It captures you. You vote with it at the same time and whole lot. So more education, more sensitization needs to be on now. Right? I think I won't refuse mentioning INEC to get CSOs trained on so that they will go into the various communities and various states.
Okay, now there's a question I would like to ask. Now INEC is saying this. They insist on no more incidents form.
Yes.
But there's still INEC people that come with it. So how do we reconcile the two?
No, they don't come with it.
Okay, you are saying people should hear it. That means who will bring it?
If ever is seen.
Okay, it's seen anywhere around the polling unit. Okay.
In case if INEC, goes contrary
to what they said.
To what they said.
Okay.
People should talk.
All right, Daily Trust newspaper. We've read out some stories on top of on Daily Trust. Okay.
Yeah, talking about Ministry of Finance being on the spot for 4 and something billion pardon. You see, sometimes I mean, this country is too laughable. You remember when Honorable Jubril talked about pardon and the Federal House of Reps? It was a big case. At the end of the day, that matter was swept under the carpet. Nobody was punished. Nothing came out of it.
As usual.
So this one is another. You can imagine Ministry of Finance pardoning Nigerian budget to the tune of 400 and something billion naira. I mean, that is a budget of almost 2 states in the southeast, and or even 3.
Okay, that's
so it's ridiculous. That tells you and sometimes remember that more than 80% of the funds that we used to fund this budget, the 2023 budget was borrowed, and then somebody wants to steal away.
Borrowed money.
In fact, Nigeria borrowed today to service debt, and then politicians have said stealing in billions. The borrowed money
to put us into more
debt that generations unborn may not be able to pay. So this is a terrible country. The system now the system we operate in Nigeria is capable of giving a 40-year-old man a high BP and possibly stroke.
Okay, the issue of fuel scarcity in Lagos and you know, and Abuja, you know, the thing started, I think, 2 days ago, and the way it's going is like it's getting worse by the day.
Has there been any fear? Has there been no fierce scarcity for some time now?
But this one says it's biting hard.
It's been like that.
Nigerians...
about since 3 weeks now, or 2 weeks now, Rain Oil doesn't have fuel.
They've not been selling.
They've not been selling. And some other major filling stations I know. Even if you get there, you'll see 250.
Probably that may be the reason you see, you can count vehicles that ply the road on a daily basis.
Not everybody can afford the money,
price.
The price. So what I'm saying in essence is this: I don't know why Nigeria have not been able to have their own refinery till date.
We have no. It's just to refurbish it.
I get them before no property.
Do you understand? It's the same thing as we don't have.
I get them before, and don't forget, my brother, that Gerald Buhari told us during his campaign in 2014 that he's not only going to refurbish the entire refinery, but build more.
And now with this,
8 years down the line.
No refurbishment.
No refurbishment. Not even more. Let us. We didn't see the one refurbished.
Okay.
Talk more of
okay, let's move on to the Guardian
more.
Newspaper now. Let's see stories on the Guardian. CBN rallies support for cashless economy, unveils new notes. Poll ranks Obiano as best governor, as best Anambra governor since 1999. 2023 poll will dislodge desperate politicians, Igiri Amade declare. HIV prevalence in girls, women 60% higher than in men, says NACA. Ashiru accuses El Rufai of plunging Kaduna into debt, unfolds economic agenda. 2023, UK is watching Nigeria. We've seen that before. Okay, I don't know. Which one are you looking at, Prince?
Well, we are in Anambra, and we are Anambrarians, and all of us were here when Dr. Mbadriju became the governor of Anambra State. Somebody like me, anyway, I was in junior secondary then. After 4 years, Dr. Chris Ngige came. He spent 3 years plus. He left. Anduba. Okay, before Anduba, Peter Obi came. And then Anduba interjected for about 14 days and left. Obi continued before Chief Willie Obiano came. Akpoko Odike. Akpoko left, and we now have Professor, whom we are asking to Professor well. Well, the pool they are talking of, I really wonder, was this pool actually done in Anambra?
Indices.
How did they collect their indices to come up with the fact that Obiano was the best governor Anambra has produced since 1999? Was this pool conducted here in Anambra? How did they come about the indices? These are some of the things we need to look into before we can even say they are right or wrong, because their postulations are neither here nor there. You know, we, the Anambrarians know when we want to void sentiment, when we want to be, not to be partisan about it, we know the governor, the government that really worked for the generality of Anambra people, and the one that favored more of a section of people like Apuga or PDP, as the case may be, depending on who is there. But what we are saying is that Soludo should be better than all of them, because we need to be going further. Anambra is the light of the nation, and when it comes to the Southeast, with all due respect to the rest of the states, this is the state of men that we are men, and men who are also men. You can't discuss Nigeria, modern Nigeria, without bringing in Anambra men from Nandaski, Weda, I mean, in all sectors. So we have no reason to be a mediocre state. Do you understand me? So I don't want to discuss, I don't want to say that Obiano was not the best governor, as they are saying, but we need to question the process that they used to arrive at that claim.
Okay, let's move on now. HIV prevalence in girls, women, 80%. I don't know, is NACA that is saying this. I don't know how true.
I think NACA should be, I think they should be close to accurate. Why I said so is I have some of the NGOs that work on HIV AIDS. And trust me, the results they are sharing privately is not privately is not a welcomed one. It's not something, yes, it's not something funny. It's not something funny. It's not something to just overlook. And
this, COVID came kind of, it's like it was as if HIV was relegated to the background.
Yes, so, and when you are talking about this prevalence rates, the rates falls amongst the young people between 16 to 35, 40 years. Women mostly, just as it is here. It's just that most times people that are supposed to take up this campaign are not motivated. You know, you only see people with passion talking about it. The way we preached HIV/AIDS in 2001, 2002 wasn't the way it is, because at some point it was reducing.
No, you know, I thought there are so many centers where they can assess health, whatever, that was really helping them then, you know, and I think it went a long way.
Yeah,
it went a long way. Before we were caught up with COVID. And it was as if nothing is being done anymore about HIV.
In this, I think we need to advise our young people to be careful. Young people need to be careful this time, especially when they are having intercourse. You know, personally, my religion does not preach using of condom, but worldwide now, the way things are, you cannot hold a kind of the urge. Sometimes you can't hold your urge, you want to ease it out. And that is why the medical experts were able to recommend condoms for people. I don't know if it's being used now. People are not using it. And that is why this thing gets to this level. So please, young people, the best way to keep away from this deadly virus is to
stay away.
Abstinence. You know, stay away from it. But whereby it is more important to you than anything, please use your condom and use it properly.
Okay, Prince, I don't know if you agree with this report that 2023 polls will dislodge desperate politicians. This is coming from Egeni Amade declaring.
Not just dislodging them. Many will be retired permanently by God's grace if the right things are done. And that is why some people are planning to truncate the whole thing by telling us that we need to go back to the old ways instead of moving forward as INEC has stipulated and the law recognized. So if the young people whom we have seen are really ready to change their destiny by voting in the right person, the person they feel has the capacity and what it takes to better their life, if they succeed in doing that, many of these desperate politicians would not only be dislodged but retired. If you listen to Pa Ayo Adebenja yesterday in Ibadan, when he was talking in a Labour rally, you know, he's an Afenifere leader, a core Yoruba man, but he said he can never support Ahmed Bola Tinubu. There are a lot of things he said, but he was talking about age, that they belong to the same generation and they are weak. And there is serious limitation to what they can do in their age. That is nature for you. You know, remember when Nigerians were pressing on Jara Buhari to do one or two things, he said in his age there are a lot of things he cannot do. That is true. But he didn't tell us that anyway when he was campaigning.
Let's see who is here. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Please, in case you want to call us, you can move away from your television set or you tune down the volume completely so we can hear you. All right, go ahead.
So, Ayo was telling Nigerians that this young man has the energy. He has the mental capacity. He has the knowledge. And for him, he believed that he's convinced that he has the political will to change things. Because you know what most of our leaders are lacking is the political will to do the right thing. Not that they don't know. There's nobody with conscience that does not know what is right and wrong. But do you have the political will? You know, political will in the sense that there are some people in this country that some of us don't want to offend. Do you understand me? So because you don't want to offend them, because they are the kingmakers in Nigeria, and if you don't do their bidding, they will make you.
It should not be so.
It shouldn't be so, but that is what it is. If we want to face reality for today. So when you don't want to offend these people, you try to be pardoning a lot of things, be managing things, just do your own and go away, and allow the country to keep on deteriorating. So Payo Adebanjo is saying that he believes in Peter Obi. And he believes he has the way, the political way to change things. And this is not time to talk about tribe or religion. He's a Yoruba man, a core Yoruba man for that matter. But he would never support a Yoruba man this time because there is no equity. It is even against equity. He believes that Yoruba have taken their turn during the time of General Obasanjo. They are also taking their turn even in this one because the number 2 man is a Yoruba man. Number 4 person, the Speaker of the House of Reps, a Yoruba man. So why not go down to the southeast? Are these people not part of Nigeria? Why are you talking? Okay, Nigeria, you have agitations here. You know, people saying that the Igbos are being marginalized, and that is why IPOB and MASOB and all their junior brothers and sisters came up. Now, why are you showing these people that indeed they are not needed in this country? That is the argument of that old man. And posterity will forever be kind to him.
All right, we can go on and on, but that's the much we can take on the program, the press review. I would like to thank you so much, Nonso Orakwe, for being here this morning. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Anambra. Thank you, Nigerians. Remember, leadership is a sacred duty.
All right, we thank you so much, Prince Tony Ezimo.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you, Nigerians. Vote, no be fight.
Election, no be war.
Election, no be war.
All right, and that's just about it. My name is Nonyenwo Okoye. Till tomorrow. Bye for now.
This is ABS, Heartbeat of the East.
Traveling by aeroplane is